What a wonderful week in the state of North Carolina. Welcome to the OG Gambling Syndicate. I am Joe Giglio, joined by Josh Goodson, RTP Mortgage, joined by Bennett Johnson, Heister Automotive Group. You can not only buy cars, you can not only sell cars, you can get your car clean. What was it? What was the official title of what I had done? Detailed.
That was an official deep clean detail with pest removal.
Deep clean detail, pest removal, new tires.
To get rid of the anger that sits
We did throw in a free cabin air filter for that as well.
Point being, check them out, HeisterAuto.com. All right, guys. The U.S. Open is in Pinehurst. Josh, you were there on Monday. I was there briefly on Monday as well. Bennett, have you been down to old number 2 yet?
I was there 3 weeks ago scouting it out. I have a plethora of friends and family down there this week giving me the inside the rope scoops.
All right. So what we do here on the OG Gambling Syndicate, if you are new, is we make our picks. We have first round leaders. We have top 20s. We have winners. We have one and dones. One and done. If you're not in one, get in one next year. But basically a one and done is a pool that is season long where you're picking one golfer, and that's the only time you're allowed to use that golfer. So my contribution here has usually been the one and done pick. I'm not going to lie to you. Bennett is excellent at top 20s. Josh is a first round leader maestro. Bennett is also our resident golf nerd. It seems like a good idea, guys, to start with Pinehurst and why the allure of Pinehurst. Why do we care so much about Donald Ross's gem, and what kind of challenge do we expect to be in front of us this week down in the Sandhills of Moore County? I'll let you start, Bennett.
So, I always like to joke about what you're going to hear on the broadcast over and over and over. And the first thing they're going to tell you is, oh, there's 700 different types of vegetation that grow here naturally. And NC State researches here like 300 days a year for native animals and squirrels. And we've already seen Minwoo Lee get afraid of one of the squirrels on the fairway. So we're going to hear all about that. But the specific golf course piece of it is, this is possibly Donald Ross's best design. Well, it is his best design, possibly one of the best designs of a golf course in the entire world. He said Donald Ross's quote about it is the fairest test that he ever created. So when I hear fair, when you're watching a broadcast, building up to a tournament, and you start hearing the word fair, that tells you you're going to have two types of players this week. You're going to have players that say this course is too difficult, the greens are too fast, this is not a good test of golf. Then you're going to have the guys that are competing for winning saying, hey, I came in knowing it was going to be difficult. I got creative around the greens. Me and my caddy had a game plan. You're going to hear that in the post-round interviews. We had a game plan. We stuck to it. And the game plan this week has to be pretty simple. You have to hit the fairway, and you have to figure out a way to hold the greens on your second shots.
Not a lot of driver. Josh, you were down on Monday, and one of the things you noted was this thing's going to have so much run out and there's no rough. I should also note that, last year we had a completely anachronistic U.S. Open out in Los Angeles that there weren't many fans there. It didn't feel like a U.S. Open. It didn't look like a U.S. Open. You could land planes in the fairways. Quite frankly, the USGA did a lousy job last year with the U.S. Open, maybe because they knew they would have a classic setup this year in Pinehurst. But what was your impressions of just watching? You got to see Tiger Woods. You got to see Tony Finau. Tony in particular, we think of as a bomber, but I suspect we didn't see a whole lot of driver in use by these guys.
No drivers. Par 70.
Par 70.
They take two of the holes that for the normal people are par 5s. They cut them back to par 4. I think 16. I was around 16 most of the day, and I believe that is one that they changed to a par 4. But for them, even tipped out, and they're tipping everything out.
Yeah, 7,500 yards is what we have here.
It's still playing long, but it's not 76, 7,700. A lot of the meat is in a lot of the par 3s out there. That's one thing to keep in mind. But we are finally going to, not finally, but I feel like we get lost in some of these major championships that we go to, that Augusta does this and you expect this. But when it rains, you don't get that. Pinehurst needs hot, needs fast, needs dry. I think it rained there Sunday evening a little bit. That's it for the week.
When you say needs, you mean the defense of the course itself?
I think it plays to what we expect.
Okay.
Of that. The course's defense is the greens. Obviously, that's like because like you said, wide fairways for the most part, no rough, waist area where rough usually is.
The waist area is a stroke. I don't give a shit who you are.
Yeah, and it just depends on how light it is. There's all that wiry grass is kind of what they call it, and you can get into some bad spots. We saw a few guys on 14 hitting it in some bad spots, and it's like, yeah, I just have to get out. But still, the greens are the defense, and if they haven't had any rain, and they're not planning on having any rain, and that thing is getting baked out, we might be seeing ping pong on the greens.
I was going to say our G4 sources, shouts to Scotty McCreary, says the stimp meter was at 15.
That was on Sunday?
On Sunday. That is bonkers.
And what I noticed is what the guys were practicing the most of were they'd hit balls into the greens and then literally just go throw their balls in the most boned positions around the bottom of the greens. Basically telling me they know that they're going to hit the fairway for the most part. They're not worried about the drives. Yes, they're worried about there are some holes where angles matter because getting into certain pin locations and such like that. It is a second shot golf course, but you can hit really good second shots here and they will fall off.
Yeah.
And then now you've taken a 25-foot birdie chance into, oh man, I have to chip up or putt up, or a lot of them were practicing the little shots where they chip it into the side of the green and let it
see what it does,
hop on and see what it does. And like that is a defense. And I think with the weather forecast this week, there will be no way to slow things down. So back to your original question, I don't think driving is going to be, you don't have to really, really hit it far, because I think you're going to get enough rollout just inherently by it being as dry and firm and fast as it is.
Bennett, is there a comp in your brain of what this course looks like? Because obviously they play, you'll laugh, they play the Detroit Rocket Mortgage, one of your favorites, Bennett, on a Ross course. They played the PGA last year at a Ross course. Sedgefield is obviously a Ross course, but those Ross courses aren't set up like this one.
No.
And I'm actually, the comp in my brain is Kiowa, and I don't know why.
It's
it
funny.
Makes no sense.
It's funny you're working up this Kiowa thing where literally Kiowa is an island.
Right?
In Pinehurst may as well be Death Valley in the middle of a desert with the sand and just
my comp thought though is terms of difficulty.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we saw a PGA championship at Valhalla, which for them was super, super scoreable and for them easy.
There's a reason why in the last 3 U.S. Opens, there's been 2 guys that have finished under par, I believe.
Even in LA.
No, excuse me, at Pinehurst.
Okay.
There's a reason. There's
a history there.
There's a reason why literally the last 3 tournaments competed here, 99, 2000.
It's 5 and 14.
And 14. There's been a combined 2 guys that have finished under, or 3 guys finished under par. I believe Keimer,
yep,
Ricky, and Eric Compton, and that's it. Payne Stewart won it 1 over, I believe. Michael Campbell won it even. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, this is the USGA, to get to Bennett's point. If this is Donald Ross's gem, they're going to protect it at all costs. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think you're going to see, I think this is a rock fight. I think this is the opposite of the laser show.
They'll protect it, but they don't have, the good thing about this week is they don't have to do anything. They don't have to. They don't have to manufacture protection.
They don't have to gin it up at all.
The course is the course. It's going to be hot, firm, and fast, and they can't stop that unless they go water the green zones, which I'm sure they will. They're going to have to.
They're going to have, yeah. The data, the nearest comparisons are Augusta National, and I think that's mostly coming from the speed of greens.
Yeah.
Congaree, which is a course that we don't necessarily talk about a lot on tour, but is a place that a lot of tour players go and play regularly. For side games and stuff like that. Kiowa, Shinnecock Hills, Muirfield, and one that I think is sneaky similar is Erin Hills. So those are what we call correlated courses. This is the 5th longest course since 2015 played on tour. One of you made this point earlier. It's not always just the 4s and the 5s that add length. Pinehurst picks up the yardage on the par threes. You're playing really, really long par threes. And a lot of courses have 1 or 2 long par threes. All 4 of these are the big boys. These
They're
are
all going to
not
be around 200 yards at least, generally.
You said Muirfield, Bennett, and last week was just an absolute dogfight. I mean, that thing, Jack just beat those guys up last week, and it's similar. Like if Jack Nicklaus is your modern, Donald Ross when it comes to course design, and he doesn't want his gem to be sullied by some sort of 18, 19 over birdie fest. So of course Scotty Sheffield found a way to get to 10.
He managed.
Found a way to get to 10.
In all
which
of
is our worry, right? Like, what do we do?
That is our worry.
Podcast. What do we do with our guy Scotty Scheffler? What do we do?
So he's
the last
what, plus 280? Sorry, go ahead, Bennett.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say the last thing that I found. So intangibles needed. We've already talked about them. We'll just pop through them quick because that's who we're getting ready to start talking about.
Yeah, the profile.
The profile is overall course management strategy. And it's funny, you could put Scotty Scheffler number 1 behind all of these. So course management, shot making, creativity, patience, mental toughness, which is measured by bounce back, is the statistic that actually measures directly with that. Scotty Scheffler does lead that category on tour.
I saw this morning, 36%.
36%.
Every time he makes a bogey or worse, because he does make worse. He made a couple triples, I think, even last week, and he makes at least birdie 36% of the time after he makes a bogey. I believe in what is it in normal when you're playing with buddies? We have an expression, PBFU, the post birdie F up, is what normal humans have, right? Like, we make birdies and we know it's going to go wrong. He's kind of the opposite of that.
And I think this week, I don't think there'll be bounce back birdies. I think it'll be bounce back 4 or 5 pars in a row.
Yes.
And
all right, so the profile of the grinder here. No?
I'll segue right into your first round leaders with this. We already mentioned the snip meters. Their target is 13.5. This is the key. At the start of the round, 13.5. If you're someone that tees off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and they ran that snip meter at 7 a.m. when it was 81 degrees, 100% humidity, and now it's 94 with 15 mile an hour southwest winds, it ain't going to be 13.5 anymore. So I think your first round leaders are going to have to be early guys. And I think on the weekend, it sets up to where there can be huge leaderboard changes on Saturday and Sunday, where your leaders tee off at 2, 3 o'clock for the primetime TV. And maybe you had a compressed leaderboard, someone maybe 6, 7 shots back that teed off 2 hours earlier, because we've got a lot of guys in the field. A lot of guys can get compressed. So I think this sets up for first round leaders to be late or early tee times. Avoid your late guys. And on the weekend, be prepared for big swings on the leaderboard. Maybe it's just one name staying at the top the whole time, but I think this tournament sets up for that.
So do we think, my central premise here is, if the test is the greens, then yes, Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer in the world. All the stats suggest that, but is he good enough around the greens and on the greens to win this tournament?
I think he is. He just gives himself so many opportunities. Like, I can't. He's boring to watch, but he's boring because he's the guy that hits the ball the closest to the hole the most consistently.
Yeah.
And if you give, the law of averages will say, if you give yourself 15, 20 footers a day, you're probably going to make 6 of them or 7 of them. You're going to score. In talking about the greens and such, this is going to be a 2-putt extraordinaire type course.
Yeah.
Who can lag the best? It makes me feel of like Brooks. Brooks is notorious. He'll tell you his world whenever he has won his tournaments is like, aim to the center of the green, make a long one here or there, but don't do anything stupid. Put yourself in a good spot. 2-putt, lag, do all that. So it's going to be a grindy course. I don't think we can say that anymore. And it's going to be, so when you're looking at, it's a lot easier to count or go down the list of names and say, does this guy win? Is he around when it's hard?
Yeah. Are they only a sunny day player?
Are they a sunny day guy, or are they an everyday guy? So whenever you start hearing us say certain names, you're going to be like, whoa, why is that guy on there? And if you go look at their history, it's like, yeah, man, they're there whenever it's hard.
Okay. Well, let's get into our first round leaders. These are brought to you by RTP Mortgage. Josh Goodson, that's you. This is your chance to give out your information. Let the people know where they can find you. I could give you the talking points if you'd like, because I know the number's not where you want it to be, the mortgage rate, but
they're trying to come down.
they're trying, but also the price of houses keeps going up.
Yeah. Waiting is not the right thing.
Those aren't going to go down, right?
I think I did a little math exercise for someone this morning. It was something to the effect of, if you wait for rates to drop 1%, your payment might drop $300 a month. That's a good thing, right? You want lower payments, but waiting that 1% may cause the house you want to be $50,000 more expensive, because competition's going to rise, all these things, and you're not going to save money by waiting for the rate to drop. So if you are in the market, it is still a good time to buy rather than waiting, because any rate drop is not going to counteract the money you have to spend up front.
What's the best way to find you?
Call me, text me, 252-361-1415, Josh at rtpmortgage.com, or follow me on Twitter. This is going on Twitter.
Okay.
I'll talk about mortgages there.
Perfect.
And NC State.
Perfect. Yes, you do. All right. Let's get into your first round leaders, because typically what you do is you'll put about $25 on, let's say a dozen players.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is one of the majors, and we'll spend a little bit more time on this one, but I put these in order for you. I'm hoping you have them on your phone.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Let's start with Colin Morikawa. Yeah,
I did put a little bit more on him because his odds are lower.
You like to get to 1,000 for
I like to make about $1,000 bucks whenever I play on these. And I'm a Colin guy. I had some Colin at Augusta.
You won both of his majors. You had big tickets on both of his majors.
Yes. And he was kind of not in the wilderness, but his showing in Augusta was a little surprising.
Yes.
He had not been playing to his standards. And I kind of thought of him as a sunny day guy.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of was.
Yeah, because his British Open win was on like the perfect pristine.
He won the COVID one in California at Olympic Club.
PGA,
PGA, where no one there, but conditions were benign. No extra
out in Cali where he's from, and
so he's kind of been known as that. But he is a second shot guy,
dead straight off the tee,
possibly the best iron player on the planet. I mean, I would even maybe even better than Scotty. I don't know, but just hits it. And he got beat by Scotty at Augusta and just kind of flamed out. He was not ready for the moment. He was in the final group again with Scotty last week, and this will probably lead into my later on who's going to win pick. But he's playing some golf right now, and I think his last week at the Memorial, he shot under par. He did not catch Scotty.
Right.
But he was down by 4, lost by 1. He was there.
He wasn't smoked.
He was not smoked. I think that's big for his confidence. I think he probably finally, for the this little stretch we're on, was like, I can play. Like I'm that guy.
Again, I worry about his putter, not in the first round, just to win this tournament.
Yeah, but he's 2,800 plus 2,800 as a first round leader. He's going to hit a lot of the greens. Can he make a few putts? Can he go shoot? Like, if you ask me, what do I think the score is tomorrow? I think somebody can get the 4 under.
Okay. Seems low to me, but
I think somebody can get the 4 under tomorrow, and I think he can do it. I think he's going to give himself enough opportunities to do that. He's not like driving's not going to be necessarily an issue. He plays his cut. He's going to be okay. He's going to find his spots. Next,
now your next two guys, I got to say, I think of them as bombers. I don't think of them as let's put them out on a difficult track and let's see what they can do around the greens. You have Sahith Theegala and Tony Finau.
Sahith 4,500, Tony
5,000
plus 5,000. Sahith plus 4,500. Sahith you're going to have to be creative at some point.
I will give you he is creative. He is creative
on this course. You might be in some spots. You'll be in some waist area, stuff like that, and Sahith could easily do that all day and shoot 77, but he's also a guy that is creative. He's got a little Spieth in him from whenever vintage Spieth. So I just like that number plus 4,500. Tony is a grinder, but he has been around in majors when they've been hard. He's been a majors guy. He has not done it the last year, but he started trending the last couple weeks. I liked him at 50-1. I think he's going to be comfortable out there playing first round.
We got our first live guy here in Tyrrell Hatton. This is someone I speak of. When I think of hard courses, I do think of him.
Yep.
But what was the word that you used?
Bennett? I was going to say this. No, when Bennett was going through the list of you've got to be this and you've got to be that, I was like, well, they're going to really love this first round leader pick, because I think one of the words he used was calm.
2 words then: calm and patient.
And
Mental toughness.
here's the thing: I don't need Tyrrell Hatton to be calm and patient 4 days.
No, just one. Wait, it's
Just 18 holes.
Who's paired with Cantley? Because you know whoever it is going to lose their mind.
I don't know, but
We'll have to figure that out. And not bet on that person in the first
Tyrrell
round.
Hatton, the reason why I added him was to the original point of who's a guy that is around when it's hard.
Yeah.
And he's a second shot guy. He can loop it in there. I don't think he's going to be worried about the conditions, stuff like that. 5,500 was his number. Will Zalatoris, the first
somebody from locals got to play well.
North Carolina related guy.
Fuck you. Russell Henley's playing with my guy. I have a Russell Henley ticket just for Bennett. Real quick though, we have a commenter here. Scotty, long-term Bermuda putting stats leave a lot to be desired. Found that'd be interesting. Yeah, I think any long-term Scotty putting stats are not going to be great.
No.
Just the nature of the beast. And again, it's all relative. I think Josh make a great point. He gives himself so many chances that.
But his last 6 months have been way better.
Which
is why he's won 5 times in the last his 8 starts this year or something like that.
Ridiculous. All right, so we do think one local is going to play. At least one local is going to play well this week, right?
Zalatoris, he is a when it's hard guy.
Yeah,
he's been there. Like I don't know why, like because he just kind of came on the scene, but he's a when it's hard guy. And I have to think he has played at Pinehurst number 2 and played a bunch of Donald Ross stuff, just given his nature of being a Wake Forest kid. 6,500. Curious about the injury, but I would think that he's slowly getting better on that front. Another when it's hard and when he's in majors he's around. Shane Lowry, another one of my guys. This number 7,000 plus 7,000
for him, that's good value.
Pretty good. I thought that was really, really good value. So
Adam Scott, I mean, come on, dude. The guy can't putt to save his freaking. You have 2 of the worst putters on the planet right here in Zally and Adam Scott. I know LAB putting is like, hey, Julio.
They don't need to make a bunch of birdies. They just need to avoid a bunch of bogeys.
That's fair.
I think Adam Scott's a guy that's going to find himself playing well, and he did not get in on qualification. He got in late this week, literally on Monday as like an alternate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be. He's played pretty well this year. I feel like there has to be there has to be some competitive juice of like, I wasn't supposed to be here. Let me try to.
When I question you, those are the ones who pop.
Yeah.
So it's a good track record for you. We got some foreigners here.
I don't need Adam to go shoot 8 under.
Right.
It's just the weeks I need him to make birdies. You're right. He's not going to do it because he can't putt, but he's gonna 2-putt a lot and be okay.
You got What Does the Fox Say here, and Alex Noren, who's been on absolute fire.
Fox and Noren playing well, 80 to 1 or plus 8,000.
Got another local
guy, Akshay, 90 to 1. Ball striker has to have played out there before 1 million times, I would think, given being from the Raleigh area. Then at the bottom,
we got the
Hoge coin plus 9,000. Cam Davis plus 11,000.
Can we spend a minute on Cam Davis?
Your guy.
Bennett, do you know why I like Cam Davis and why I have a Cam Davis ticket to win this tournament?
No, I can't think of a single reason, honestly.
Because he played well in Detroit.
Oh my.
The way that you talk yourself in, this is the thing I love about you, and the thing that also it's just like, I don't know where you're at. I don't get that. Like, that might be crazier than I think this course is like a course on the beach.
Joe, I'm for some odd reason passionate about the Rocket Mortgage, right?
Yes, you are. You've played there.
Do you watch the tournament? Do you watch the tournament? It's literally.
It's just preposterous that I had to share that little detail with you. All right, rounding this thing out, Eric Van Rooyen.
Yep.
Always that's a great value for a guy who's always there. Justin Lauer, another one of your favorites in the opening rounds.
Then the hottest golfer on the planet.
Literally, my guy, my spirit animal.
And he's literally the hottest golfer on the planet.
Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs has won his last two stops on the Corn Ferry Tour.
And showed out at Kiowa in 21.
In 21, yeah, Kiowa. Like, when I think of Pinehurst, I think of Kiowa.
Exactly.
I think you're just going to speak this into existence where that's what we just all think.
Just wait till we get to my picks and my top 20. You're going to love it.
It's going to be
absolutely going to love it.
It's going to be, I do think the first round is going to be very bunched. And like I said, Bennett, you think there's a 66 out there, right?
I do think there's a 66 just because these early guys, I do think they have a significant advantage on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think the morning to late advantage will wane a little bit on Friday, but getting out there on an absolutely pristine course as compared to your competitors that are coming out there at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thursday morning is going to be perfect. Before we get into the top 20s, I mentioned I had my car deep, clean, detailed, no more mice. Get those new tires, all great stuff. That's the Heister Automotive Group. It's heisterauto.com. I just go to the home base, I feel like, in Fuquay. But you have more options than that. You can give Bennett a call, 919-524-3348. You can also use that number to text Bennett and ask him for his top 20 plays on weeks we don't do the OG Gambling Syndicate, which I know some people do take advantage of. So what do you guys have going on this summer? I just saw your email for your 5K. I didn't know if you want me to promote the 5K yet, or I'll give you this opportunity to do that as well.
More to come on the 5K, but this will be our 3rd annual Heister Cares 5K. We raise money for suicide prevention. There's our hat from last year. Thank you. Very impressed you had that so quickly on the trigger there. So it's at Fuquay Marina High School.
Happy.
Yeah. You can go for info on that. You can go to heistercares.com, HIESTER cares.com. And in dealership world, we have a store in Sanford. So perfect for our Sandhills friends this week. So if you're down there and you park your car in one of these open fields that you have to park and get shuttled to Pinehurst in the village, text me if your car doesn't crank and we'll figure out a way to come help you out from our nearby Sanford store.
Make it work.
Yeah.
Definitely make it work. All right, let's get into our top 20s for the U.S. Open. And we'll start with you, Bennett, because this is your specialty. We've mentioned a couple of those names that you're going to pop with here, but let's start with Zally. You like Zally plus 260 to make the top 20. I am worried about the back. I am worried about his putter, but you say he shows out this week. This is your pick for the local to play well this week?
He is my stock local. I have seen him, if you're a Willie Z follower on social media, in the last 5 or 6 months, he has posted a couple times out there, kind of doing a little reconnaissance. So maybe he brings some good vibes in. I have some statistics I'll share as we go through the top 20s, but at the since 2018, on the most difficult courses, which are courses that the strokes gain average goes into the plus, like to the bad, plus in the bad sense of the word, he is the sixth ranked player since 2018 on difficult courses. So he's a hard course player, which is just, really going into 2022, we thought Willie Z was going to be what Scotty is. I mean, he came out guns blazing. And I do wonder if there is some kind of long-standing injury issue that we don't know about, because he seems to come back. He'll play a couple tournaments, look good, and then kind of sit out. So if he's healthy, he's a difficult course tour player, and he's obviously local. I've seen him post some stuff out there, so maybe he brings good vibes in.
Pretty good value for top 20 as well.
Next, we have who I'm calling – Josh just mentioned this, the happy to be there guy, Adam Scott. He is simply, the next 2 guys are Australians. And this course is similar to what a Cam Smith, Jason Day, Adam Scott grew up playing, sandy waste areas. There is no true rough per se. I mean, I'm sure there are courses in Australia, but the traditional ones that we think about, they're actually set up very similar to this. You do not have to play driver off the tee, even though it's a long course. Adam Scott is plus 320. I think he'll come out excited to be there. This is not, I don't remember the exact number, 95th straight major or whatever. And he's running out of exemptions. So he needs high level finishes in majors to keep qualifying for the next majors. He's come out and said his goal is to try to hit 100, which would break a long-standing record. So I know he's got to come out playing well. And lastly is a guy that's, I think, has been playing pretty well on tour. He's more famous right now for his odd outfits, which I'm sure we will see Jason Day wearing very glamorous outfits Thursday, Friday. He's plus 260 to be top 20. He's another guy that's a top 20 on hard course players, someone we haven't necessarily thought about the last 2 or 3 years in majors. He obviously is a major winner, but the last, I'd say, 8 to 10 months, he's been a really, really solid player. He is an iron player. That's what you think about him as. He's kind of a loop the ball in there kind of guy. His driver has been a little erratic this year. again, I don't think you're going to see guys hitting driver 13, 14 times. I think you're going to see irons off the tee, some 3-woods off the tee. And we've seen Jason Day do that in majors, notably the British Open and his PGA Championship.
All right, Josh, do you want to cleanse my picks, or would you like to laugh at my picks first? Which order would you like to go in? Because you're going to find great humor in both of my top 20 picks.
Save the funniest for last.
Okay, so let's go with yours are a little bit closer to chalky. You've got your mi amor, your unrequited love.
I have to be there.
And maybe you will be.
I need to be there whenever it happens. Tommy Fleetwood.
Plus 130.
Plus 130.
Not bad.
I think that's decent value. I mean, he is a when it's hard, be there. Majors, he's there. Second shot. It's just I feel like it's time. I feel like it's been time. If he's not here, if it's not here, we can just literally replay this next segment next month when they go to Royal Troon.
Which it could be.
Which it could be. It could be then, but I can't miss it. Yeah. So I'm going to play him and put him on the card. And I just think it's a good number. It's not just a true heart.
And we already mentioned the Swede, Alex Noren. He's been blistering hot on the PGA Tour. He's plus 260.
Correct.
All right, let's get to some entertainment here because I'm going to give you a little bit of a longer shot.
Hold on. We have to ask, are these guys actually in the field?
All right, so for those who aren't in the text thread, that means those watching, I have 4 tickets this week for players who are not in the field.
Just amazing.
And you're asking, how does that happen? Well, I saw their names and they were offered by DraftKings. So I said, okay, Louis Oosthuizen.
So this was a long time ago
No, it was like a month ago.
Okay, so just for people to know, books will put out futures for tournaments way in advance.
Yes.
So it's not like they just put these futures out last week. Like I bet there is a place to bet on the 2025 Masters right now.
There is.
And the same type thing. I don't think Louis Oosthuizen, for instance, is actually qualified for the Masters right now.
Right.
I don't think he is. He is likely not going to play. But
you can still bet on it.
But you can still bet on it, and you do get your money back. It's not like they just take your money if a guy doesn't show up.
So for the record, I have Patrick Reed, Louis Oosthuizen, Joaquin Niemann, and there's one other one I thought where the guy's not even in the field.
I don't know. It's not Rahm, is it? But Rahm's out on it.
No.
Honestly, those are all guys I think would be competitive if they were in the field.
Right. Patrick Reed is definitely someone.
You had to know Bennett back in like January when, or you say it was last month for Louis Oosthuizen.
Yeah.
You had to know Bennett. It had to be like 11. No, it wasn't 11:30 at night because he would have been asleep. But it would have been.
Oh, it was early. It was an early morning.
It would have been in the morning.
Brilliance.
And he's just sitting there like Louis Oosthuizen.
Louis.
Ball striker.
Oh, Abe Answer.
Why
mental player?
Why is he plus 9,000? I am the smartest person. No one else is betting this, and for this thing, literally no one else was betting that.
Quite literally. Yeah.
They only have to refund 1 ticket in the entire world.
It's to mine. So anyway, if that's happened to you, you get those ticket refunded. Josh wants to make fun of me. That's fine. I get my money back. Okay. Now on these tickets, I cannot get my money back because they've been placed. I have Brendan Todd as my local, who I think is going to play well. Plus 850 for Brendan Todd.
A lot of Brendan Todd.
Yes.
He was playing with I went with my nephews. My sister-in-law is a Georgia Bulldog. He was playing with other Georgia dogs. Grayson Sig and Sep.
Yep.
They were playing, so we followed them a little bit. Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck with the Brendan Todd ticket.
I have Brendan Todd. He's from Apex. If you don't know, yes, he went to Georgia. Kind of like what you were saying about Adam Scott, though. I feel like he's starting to run out of hey man, I just think
Adam Scott's a way better. But yes,
Brendan Todd won twice during the pandemic on the tour, which is kind of how he's been playing everything out. But he kind of needs it. So plus 850 on a course. I actually covered him in 2014 when he played here in 14.
Gotcha.
So I'm going on the Gilio Mojo vibes. Plus 850.
Hey,
Brendan Todd.
He's starting. That's a good thing for you. He's actually playing.
He's actually in the field. And now, if we're gonna talk all this time about Kiowa.
Oh my God.
Oh,
the
no.
left hander.
No.
The left hander is plus 750. Phil Mickelson won at Kiowa. Phil Mickelson was second at Pinehurst in 99. I like the lefty. Top 20 is plus 750. I think here's bold prediction. I think either Lefty or Tiger Woods will be in the top 20 because when it's hard, this is their only chance to be in this because it has to be a -2, a -3.
They're not going to win a birdie. They're not going to.
They're not going to Valhalla and going 22 under toe to toe with those guys.
Sure.
They can slog through this thing though, or an old timer can slog through this thing. I saw Matt Kuchar on Scott Wood's card for this week for the G4. So I'm going Lefty at plus 750. All right. So you guys are entertained?
Well, Tiger's plus 650, just to tell people. So they're not far apart. And I don't disagree with the premise, but I do feel
I know. He's off the reservation. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Was he the runner-up of the Masters 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I hate the Cam Davis play more than I hate the Phil play.
Cam Davis, bomber. But he did well in Detroit. That's
but Australian, right? Like he's played.
And he's Australian.
Yeah.
He is actually I was just looking at the odds for top Australian because I was so excited about my Adam Scott play that I might bump money there too. Cameron Smith plus 260, Jason Day plus 350, Minwoo, my guy, plus 350, and Cam Davis plus 900. So he's not heavily favored in the Australian contest.
pretty smart on that. Julio, take it there. All right. Let's get to some winners before we do our one and done. So we have some overlap here, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'll start with you, Bennett, with your first winner, which is also one that Josh has.
My first winner is a very popular winner. He has the second most tickets in Vegas. I just read that this morning. Number of tickets placed on him is Colin Morikawa, which is interesting because usually the public just hammers, the top guy or the top, maybe second guy. He's actually number 4 right now on DraftKings. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's not. But Colin Morikawa, he's been just a really solid player this year. He's a majors player. He's 10th strokes gained around the green. He's his 2-putt percentage is really high. I don't have the exact number, but so he's a guy that knows how to lag it up there, go over there, tap it in, and take your par and move on. The other thing I like about Colin is he's 5th strokes gained, 175 plus iron play. We're going to have a lot of long irons in, so kind of to the Scotty point, yes, people are not going to be holding the greens, but you have a better chance of holding the greens if you're a better long iron player. So if you can be consistently in the middle of the green, that will help. That is Colin Morikawa's kind of MO has been for his majors: hit the green, 2-putt, move on, hope for the best. So he's a grinder type guy. And then secondly, someone who I actually don't think
so you share Morikawa with Josh. Josh's other pick obviously is Tommy Fleetwood plus 4,000. And now Bennett, your second pick is one that you in theory share with me. I just had it at the beginning of the year. Go ahead.
I'm surprised we've made it 38 minutes and haven't mentioned him, but Bryson DeChambeau. I think that of all the LIV guys, I believe pretty much everyone has won in reverse on LIV. Not that I'm a LIV hater per se, but I do think the level of competition has hurt the perceived top 8 or 9 guys that went to LIV. The one guy that I almost wonder if it hasn't been a good thing for is Bryson DeChambeau. I think maybe the PGA Tour and its kind of stuffy feel, the good guys gang, the Jordan Spieths and the Rickies and the Justins, how they all hang out together. Bryson was not that. He was not that in college. He was not that coming up through USAM. He was always kind of out doing his own thing. We see that with the irons. He's 3D printing things. He's all into the statistics and the genetics of the game and how your body moves. Very different than the feel guys on tour. Feel is in F-E-E-L, not Phil Mickelson. But I feel like maybe going to LIV was kind of like his coming out party. And he's come back and he's been very dominant in the majors that he's participated in.
Top 5 in Masters and runner-up in Valhalla. And yes, I had tickets on both.
Not a course that you would necessarily think for Bryson there because he's a bomber. We know that. But I think he's actually a pretty adaptive player. He's got good hands around the green. He's a good putter. So I think he can make his game fit. Another advantage is when you can take your 3-iron, your driving iron, and carry it 280 down the middle consistently, get the rollout. That's a big advantage over, say, a Colin Morikawa who's carrying his driving iron 30 yards less. So when you can be straight and consistent with less than driver, I think that'll be good here.
My biggest payday would be on DeChambeau, so that will not happen, but he'll probably finish as the runner-up. That is how this works, sir. My pick, you mentioned the live guy. We haven't talked about him. He was the runner-up at Kiowa. He won last year on a Ross course in the PGA. For real, we're not talking about him. Brooks Koepka. Plus 22 is pretty good value for him. All my nonsense comps aside, all those things that you talk about with Bryson, Brooks can do. He obviously has not performed in the majors the way that not only he wants, but for other people who follow him and have gambled on him want. I did not love him at Valhalla, but I do love him. The harder it gets, the more I like him. And he is such a prideful guy that and we know from the season 1 of the Netflix documentary how much it burns him up when Scheffler wins and Scheffler kind of separates himself from the pack. Like, he's the one golfer who takes that shit seriously. And what better way to tell the world that, hey, I'm still here than by winning the US Open at Pinehurst. Again, he won a major on a Ross course last year, so this isn't as half-cocked as my other theories. He just also happened to be the runner-up at Kiowa.
Real quick, I want to spout off a couple of the other top 5 just so we can talk about them just real quick. So Scotty's plus 280. I did find this interesting. So you can bet on Scotty this is what I would do if I wanted a Scotty ticket, I guess is what I'm getting at. You can bet on the Scotty Scheffler winning margin.
Okay.
So 6 of his last 8 wins have been by more than a stroke.
By more
Than a
so
stroke.
He doesn't other than last week, he doesn't really win close ones.
He has kind of turned into a Tigery. People get scared when he's in the lead type player.
Yeah.
Like, Scotty has definitely done that. So Scotty to win by 2 or more is plus 400.
That's better than
Scotty to win by 3 or more. He won the Masters by 4. Just for perspective, he won the Masters by 4. Scotty to win by 3 or more is plus 550.
To be clear there, that's not an exacta. He doesn't have to win by 2 strokes. If he wins by 8,
2
you
or
still win
more.
your bet.
Right.
Okay.
3 or more, 4 or more. So the or more is very thing.
That's much better value.
And then like to him, so I mean, you could literally do him to win by 2 or more and kind of play the odds that if he wins, he usually runs away or just kind of cruises to it.
Yep.
So you can make a little bit of money there. I have not heard 2 names that I just want y'all's thoughts on, and if it's like a pure stay away, then stay away is great. Before Xander won the PGA, his MO was he was always really good at US Opens. He is is there when it's hard kind of guy. Yeah. No one wants any Xander.
I do want some Xander, and I have.
Or is the number kind of not yet?
My Xander stat earlier, I mentioned the best players on the tough courses. The number 1 player since 2018 is actually Xander Schauffele. He's also the only player that has played every major since 2018 to average a position of 30 or less in the average field. He's also second in strokes gained during those, only to Brooks Koepka. So that furthers your Brooks Koepka point, how well he's played on the difficult courses. But no one has actually played them more consistently than Xander. My only thing with Xander, which we've always talked about, we just haven't seen him close it down on a Sunday yet, where someone's chasing him down, pressure's on. We're waiting for that big breakthrough Xander moment where like, hey, that guy could win 3 or 4 majors in a hurry.
Oh, he won the PGA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't a chase down type scenario.
He had to hold. Well, he was kind of there. I'll say this about the PGA. I don't count that.
It's too easy.
Well, no, seriously. That kind of played like a different.
Like the John Deere or the Rocket Mortgage.
Xander has played in every U.S. Open since 2017. Never finished worse than 14th.
I guess my point with the Bryson, I just didn't see him being intimidated by Bryson.
I don't know if he didn't play with him. I think that helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you don't
and that's what I mean. A 1v1, we're matched up with Bryson or Scotty Brooks in the last. We're 4 shots clear of the field. It's 1v1. I just haven't seen that type of killer instinct from Xander yet.
That's fair.
What about Rory? No one talking about Rory.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Is it time to buy low? Are we buying?
It's not even low though. That's the problem.
I know,
these odds are so stupid.
His numbers not good.
It's almost like we need Scheffler to come out and just bang on Thursday, and get even better numbers. Like I'm happy with the Bryson number I took in January. I'm happy with this recent BK number because his number was like 12, 13 in January. So I got it at 22. I'm happy with that. My other pick to win is also Josh's one and done pick, which is Matt Fitzpatrick. I think that's good value.
Yeah.
And
4,500, and he's just a when it's hard. I'm there.
Yeah. And Bennett, your one and done is Xander Schauffele. And then my one and done is Cam Smith. I also have a Cam Smith ticket. If Cam Smith had stayed on the tour, he would be 8-1, 7-1.
Yeah.
I certainly don't think Scotty Scheffler has as many wins as he does now either. If Cam Smith had stayed on the tour, but he didn't. That's the bottom line is he didn't. And now it is incumbent upon these live guys, not just Brooks, to show up in these events.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we've seen DeChambeau top 5 both majors so far.
Yeah.
But I think Cam Smith, I mean, you got to reevaluate. And now maybe you don't care. Maybe you have so much money that you don't care. Yeah. Maybe that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Cam Smith, you're the best short game in the world. You're going to show up this week. I mean, getting to our one and done strategy though, we have typically taken live guys in these majors because it's the only time you can. Now, of course, that burned me with BK at the Masters, but it did help with DeChambeau at the PGA. So, Bennett, I think you have a unique prop. We got to get out of here because the OG proper starts in 9 minutes on the YouTubes. But you have a unique nationality prop, I think, that you were excited about.
I do. This guy, he's my Victor Hovland of this season from last year. And Sepp Straka, he is plus 900 to be the top continental Euro. So that takes the
continental
English, takes your Irish, it takes your English, your Great Britain's out of play. So this is a course that actually I think sets up if Straka was going to break through and win an unexpected major, I could see it being here. He's not he's an iron player. That's what he is. My only thing that worries him is he's not particularly good on the mid iron game. So if you just start getting a lot of rollout and you do end up having a lot of mid irons, I would prefer a Scotty or a Colin, someone of that magnitude. But the competition that he has to beat is not that high. His main competition would be Victor Hovland, who I believe has completely lost it. I thought he was back Saturday at the Memorial, and then I don't know what happened on hole 6, but if he's injured or if he lost his mind, but he was like plus 8 the next 6 holes. And then Oberg is the other main competitor in that competition. We haven't really seen him do it yet consistently. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, he might have the most wins on tour. I mean, he just looks like he's the next guy, but maybe Sepp can hold him off this week, plus 900 top continental Euro.
Josh, you got one funky one to get us out of here?
No funky one, but just be on the lookout on the live line. This is going to be bunched leaderboard.
Okay.
In 1999, I looked at that. 15 guys were separated by 3 strokes going into Saturday. You can find some value. You can find a guy who's only 2 shots back. And a lot of these are value plays. Don't take them necessarily expecting them all to hit. You have them to have a ticket and hopefully get some cash out opportunities on a lot of these books and surround it and have a chance. There's going to be a lot of guys around because the condition. I don't see anybody going to run. Like I don't see a group of a Peloton type thing going ahead so far of the group that it's going to make it kind of crazy.
All right, guys, enjoyed it. Have fun this week. Whether you're going to go to the Big Rock, whether you're going to go to Pinehurst, or whether you're going to go to Omaha. I'm going to see the Wolfpack in Omaha. I'm gonna be not gonna be sober. It's gonna be enjoyable.
Is this the last comment? Is this the best Stay Ready All-Star weekend of the year with those 3 events going on?
It's gotta be.
Hey, you need me to get on the boat? You need me put this?
You need me to carry the bag? Got it. Yep, I'm ready. All right, everyone else, stay ready. Good luck with your bets this week. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe button, all those good things. Leave comments. We'll try to answer those in the comments too. And again, appreciate you. If you need a mortgage, RTP Mortgage, you need a car, it's the Heister Automotive Group. See you guys. Enjoy the weekend.